So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom and this is the Cave Troll. This is the absolutely awesome, monumentally great fun KV5, the legendary KV5, a tier 8 limited edition premium heavy tank. Used to be available as a standard tank in the premium shop, and then they took it away, I don't know, about a year ago, maybe longer now. And now it's trolled out on special occasions as part of a special deal to try and get us to part with our money. Now, personally, if I was to recommend any tank in the game, not for just sheer brilliance of it as a tank, but just for sheer fun, I'd go for a KV5 every time. I think it's tremendous fun. It's a great crew trainer, and it's a pretty good credit generator. But above all, when you platoon with 2 or 3 of these together, oh boy, is it fun. As you've probably seen with quite a lot of the videos that are on my premium slut series of live gameplay, KV5 features quite regularly because it's always great fun. So anyway, why is this thing so special, apart from the fact you can't buy it very easily? Well, let's take a dip into some of the stats and try and get to the bottom of it. Okay, so let's take a look at the KV5 in the wiki page. Trouble is, when you're in the garage, it's all is influenced by the crew and the equipment you've got in it, and I just want to show it with its flat stats. So apologies for using a flat web page for that, but I'll go back to the garage in a minute. So the KV5 has a 6-man crew, 2 loaders, commander, gunner, driver and radio operator. It has a surprisingly big engine. Well, not surprisingly big, because it is a big heavy tank, so it has a very powerful engine, 1200 horsepower, and it can get a surprising 40 kph, but you do need a fair run up at it, or you need to be coming down a hill. But the combination of its huge weight and its 40 kph speed means that when it smacks into something, it's going to leave a scratch. So yeah, it's a good ramming tool. Traverse is 18 degrees per second, so well, bricks turn quicker than that. Power ratio is 11.98. Acceleration is slow. I'll come back to the armour in a minute. Its main armament AP round only has a penetration 167, which is pretty low for a tier 8 heavy tank. Its APCR is pretty good actually, 219. So you do see a lot of people spamming gold in the KV5. Now personally, I don't think you need to. It's got enough of accuracy to be able to pick out weak spots, but undoubtedly you do need to carry a good amount of APCR in this tank, because there are a number of occasions where you will come up against heavy tanks where you cannot pen them frontally, and changing to APCR, so you have 219 pen, is pretty much the only answer you've got. Or you can of course take some HE, but the gun is only 107 millimeters, so the HE rounds are not as effective as say a 120 millimeter gun. It has a 54 millimeter penetration with HE and only 360 damage. So the standard round has an average damage of 300, as does the APCR. It fires 7 rounds per minute, so it's a pretty rapid firing. Gives it a DPM of 2100 with a standard crew. That's pretty good. Accuracy 0.43 is very good. Aim time 2.8 is fine, and this is an up close and personal kind of tank, so you're not really going to be sniping with it. If you are, you're doing it wrong. Turret traverse 21 degrees per second, which isn't terrible. It's not as bad as the hull rotation, but you are in danger of being circled in this thing. But then you don't really mind that too much, because the armour is so good all the way round. Gun depression of -7 plus 22 is very good, and it carries a lot of rounds. 60 rounds is very, very good. View range is not great, 350, and it's got, well, you might as well forget camo. This thing is the size of a house. It does not do camo. I'll come back to the pros and cons in a minute. So this is Tanks GG's look at the tank itself. So the ground resistances are not great, particularly on soft ground. Well, it's really came here to have a look at the armour. So the armour on this thing is ridiculously good. Frontally, this thing is a brute, and you can see all the armour here on this thing. This frontal turret, let's put it straight on, 189. As you get around the corner, 200. So if you hit the cheeks here, 200, nearly 300. In fact, it does hit 300 millimeters there. If I angle slightly, yeah, 308 there. This gun mantle has got spaced armour, and effectively is, yeah, well, 180 it's saying, but it's more than that. Even the commander's hatch, or is that the commander's hatch and that driver's hatch? I don't know. These two hatches here. This one's not too bad, 150. But then of course it is rounded, so it will ping off. If you hit just slightly off center, you're up to 200 there, 300 if you get that far around. So if you hit it square on, 150 is possible for most of the guns it's going to be facing. This one, however, yeah, you've got to be very lucky. You've got to hit that little blue section there. Good luck with that. The frontal armour, 265, 250, 224, and any kind of angling just gets ridiculously stupid. This is only a tier 5, remember. Tier 5 is only tier 8, remember. So it used to be that the R2D2s, as they were called, these things here, were very poor armour, and they were the places to hit. They got buffed fairly recently, so this is 182 going to 200 odd, so much like the turret. This one's a bit more realistic, 150, but even then, if you don't hit it absolutely flush, it's going up to 200, 170, so forth. But this is the one to aim for if you're firing at it. But the armour doesn't change as you get round, so even on the side of this thing, side of the turret, 185, any kind of angling, 200 plus. All this area here is 150 effective armour. You've got spaced armour where the tracks are, and if there's any kind of angling, look at 200. This tank is brilliant for side scraping. So if you can get in a position where you can side scrape, you will ping shots. Look at that, 400, 500. Good luck penning that. So this thing side scrapes like a boss. And even the rear, 90 millimeters is pretty good. That's 250 at the rear, 140 lower. But if you get any out of angling, 100. Who has 100 millimeters of effective armour at the back? Well, KV5 does. Back of the turret, same. It's 180, 180. Any kind of angle off there is 200-300 plus. Used to be people reverse side scraped in this thing because it would mean that you don't hit this R2D2 anymore, and that's still an effective tactic, because if you can side scrape, you're angling here. Your weak spot is this bit here, but even so, if they don't hit it perfectly, that's 290, 100 and actually it's over angled, yeah, about there, 165, 290, 262, 300, turret 280. So yeah, it's a monster. This thing has armor like you would not believe. And then you combine that with this huge hit point pool. It has 1,780, which is the highest hit point pool of any tier 8 tank in the game. So it can take a beating, an absolute beating, which is why it's so much fun. And there we go, it weighs over 100 tons, so that's why. So the wiki page is pros and cons on this. Armour is horrifyingly strong to those who don't know the weak spots, and an excellent side scraper. Yeah, we showed that on Thanks GG. Very large hit pool, highest of all the tier 8s. Yeah, surprisingly excellent top speed, 40 kph combined with heavyweight makes it a deadly rammer. I have rammed IS-3s, T-34s, even higher tilt. In fact, I did even ram a Japanese super heavy tank because I was coming down on him, and it really is quite scary what you can do in this, particularly if you put a heavy spool liner or super heavy spool liner on the tank as well. Has an acceptable rate of fire and very good DPM versus other tier 8 tanks. Yes, that 2000 DPM is excellent. Of course, that will only get better with the crew and equipment. Premium matchmaking, so that's the big selling point on this tank. It's a tier 8 premium matchmaker, so you will only see tier 8s and tier 9s, nothing more than that, unless you screw up the matchmaking yourself, in which case it's your fault. Cons: the 107 is very inaccurate and dreadfully bad pen. I don't think it's terribly inaccurate, but pen is not very good at all. 167 is barely enough at tier 7, let alone tier 8. Yeah, that's fair enough. The R2-D2 turret is large and very thin armour. Well, it's not as thin as it once was, so it's got better, but it's still a bit of a target. Very sluggish hull, and turret traverse will lose significantly if turning. Yeah, definitely the hull is very slow. The turret's not too bad, but combination is you will get circled to death if you allow yourself to. Very easy to spot and hit due to its gargantuan size. Almost impossible to hide. Yeah, well, it is. It's the size of a continent, so what do you expect? Armour is very thick, but also has no sloping, so any guns of 200 pen plus would almost always punch through. And that's the problem with it. You still need to be very careful. You can't just trundle forward regardless and just expect to bounce shots left, right and centre. You will, but you will die also. And also you'll attract artillery who love hitting you. Because what we didn't talk about here, look at all this green area on top, 60mm, 60mm, 40, 49, 42. Artillery love dropping shells on KV5s because they're big, they're slow, and they've got virtually no armour on the top of them. So yeah, and if you happen to be above one of these on a hill or something, aim for the roof or the top of these things here, because if you've got a gun that's 3 times those millimeters, you'll go through and cause maximum damage, and that will make a KV5 driver very, very unhappy. So there you go. It's the numbers are pretty, well, they're not awesome, but it's all about the armour. It is all about the armour on this thing, and its hit pool. So you can take a beating. You will take a beating. You're a big slab of tank. You will be hit a lot in this thing. I've done heavy tank 15 for the HTC in this. Took huge amounts of damage in it. I can't even remember how much, but enough to actually do the one in the next one. Unfortunately, which I still haven't done. I need to get out in the KV5 clearly again. So equipment wise, well, you pay your money, you should take your choice. I take ventilation, gun rammer, and super heavy spool liner. Spool liner, if you haven't used that one, it basically reduces the impact of injuries to the crew from HE hits and so forth, from explosions, from HE hits particularly, and from ramming. So you get 50% more resilience effectively in those cases, and that's a big plus, because as I say, this thing will get hit. It's also a ramming machine, so yeah, it's fun to do that. So the other option, you could use vertical stabilizers. I know people who do that. It's a good option. That improves its accuracy, but I prefer the vents because I just think that helps with the mobility, helps with everything. But there's a good case for that for sure. I suppose the other option you could use is using something to improve the engine power of this thing, maybe a cyclone filter. No, that's for engine resistance. No, I think, or maybe a toolkit. I know people use toolkits on this thing. I like the vents. I think that just adds to everything, so it improves my driving, it improves my loading, it improves my visibility, and so forth, so that's why I take it. But I think if I didn't have that, I'd probably go for vertical stabilizers. I also take a large repair kit because inevitably you lose modules in this thing. I've only got a small first aid kit. In fact I might just do that now. Change that out, because I think again, you do tend to get big hits on this thing, and the beauty of the large repair and large first aid is that they actually also reduce the chance of injuries by 15% and damage to the modules by 10% respectively, so that's a big thing. So anyway, let's take it out, have a play and see what we can do with it. So I said in the reviews that the KV5, in my opinion, becomes a whole more exciting beast when it is in a platoon. So sure enough, I'm going to show you a game that I had the other night, which I think was pretty exciting and quite shows off the tank to its full ability, which I had the other night with Shoot and Scoop. We're both out in the cave trolls. It's a tier 8 game, so we're top tier, which is rather good. Less good is the fact that there are 3 artillery on each side, and Not so worried about our friendly ones. Generally they're fairly tame. It's the enemy ones, and it's particularly the the French arty, because those things, while it can't do a huge amount of damage to us, it can track us. And the thing about that gun is it repeat fires so rapidly that you can virtually perma-track you if you're not careful, which is never a good thing, especially when you're in a big horrible thing like this that can't has virtually no armour on the top. So anyway, we're coming down the south of the hill, keeping close to the hillside to try and avoid any artillery. There's a snarling battle going on for control of the hill. We've got all the way down here, and then suddenly we see an IS-3 to our right. Don't know how he got there, but he got there, and that is an interesting position. Don't know whether he's supported. There's a T-34 coming up this way, but I can get a shot into him. Nice hit, 27 whatever it was, 278, and a critical. Very good. But he immediately goes into a side scraping position on that building, and that makes it a bit of a challenge because we've got the IS-3 to our right, we've got the T-34 in front, and both me and Shoot are here. We've got the OI behind us. The problem is, if we push on the T-34, we're likely to be hit by all the TDs that inevitably sit down at A4, and also the IS-3 from the side. If we go for the IS-3, the reverse is happening when you get T-34 in the side. So I find a speculative shot there just to see whether you can draw him out. The IS-3 came out, got a couple of shots into him from one from Shoot and one from the OI. I missed therefore the opportunity to get the T-34 when he pulled out, which was a bit silly. I do a stupid shot there, that was daft. Fired a shot into his tracks, don't really know what I was trying to achieve. I would never have penned him, and it allows him to get a really big hit on me, 411 hit. I did manage to track him again, and I'm hoping to keep him perma-tracked there. My gun reloaded is 7 seconds, and yeah, they have to have a pretty good crew to stop that repairing too quickly, but he manages to. He pulls back, fires another shot. I managed to wiggle the turret enough to bounce the shell, and the team's suffering. It's 2-4. The IS-3 still sitting there, causing us a few problems. He's poked out again. Shoot is trying to get a shot on him. I've got a little gap there, but unfortunately can't pen him. T-34's moved round the other side, obviously trying to get a different angle, different perspective. I bounce his shot but can't hit him. So we've still got this impasse, and actually the team is now 2-5 down, so we're not in a great situation. And you know, it's not ideal scenario. We've got our two-tier top tier heavies locked here in a bit of a face-off. Admittedly, we are against two of their top tier 8, easy for me to say, tanks, so we kind of negate each other, I guess is the easiest way to put it. But we haven't really done anything. I've done 278 damage, and that is it. I don't think Shoot's done much more than that, so we're really out of play. But I can't, again, it's the same problem, I can't really push around. I'm just about to load HE because I want to try and perma-track that guy again, and if at least I can do a little bit of damage as I do it with HE. But I managed to hit him, but just as he's pulling forward, so he actually gets back behind the building. However, the team's pulled it back round, it's 6-all, but there's a big push coming round the south from the K line. There's the T-34. Shoot's moved up, got an angle on him again. The OI is keeping the IS-3 busy, so then I think it's my turn to make a move. I could just about keep shielded from that building, from the IS-3. And pop round here, pop a shot into the T-34, but I get a big hit from him, tracks me in place. Oh, there's a bird. We might as well have the bird, thank you very much. But there's a T-25-2 up top there who's firing at me, and he's firing premium. Don't blame him for that at all. There's the T-34, managed to track him, but he pens me, and I've lost my gunner. I'm being hit by the T-25-2 with premium rounds repeatedly, trying to get into the lay of the building, but there goes an artillery shot, and the T-25-2 can still hit me, so I'm obviously sticking out just enough for him to get me. So I'm pulling right back, block that shot from the arty, and I need to get round into this cover. Shoot's pulled round the other side, and he's taken a bit of pressure off me, bless him. He pays for it in terms of damage, because, and there's the IS-3, I'm trying to keep him off our back as well without pushing myself so far over that my 209 hit points will disappear very rapidly. Shoot's taking a pounding as well. He's being hit by the same T25-2 and also the Lefebvre, but he's okay holding up at the moment. Missed the shot of the IS-3, trying to lower plate him, but no GI at all. Can I at least stop him pushing round? The OI is pushing on. Now there's a KV-13's come up behind us. It's just me, Scoot and the OI left on our team now. Shoot's making a move. He's just pulled around and he caught the T-34 napping. He obviously wasn't expecting him to come around the corner, and he did, and he took him out. Now I play a bit of a bold move here, trust into the armour. I need to get rid of this IS-3. The OI's gone down, so it's just me and Shoot left. I come around the corner and I bounce his shot, and I managed, God knows what I was doing there. The shell just missed the radical entirely, but I'll be able to fire again before he can turn his gun round, and he's down. Now it's the KV-13, get into cover of the building for the artillery, put a shot into him, finish him off. Shoot hit him first, and now Shoot's taking fire from the HE fire from our cap. And there's the Lefebvre just blocked my knocked the tracks off again. Managed to repair that quickly. I've got a good repair crew on that. Someone's in our cap. Ah, it's a Shafi. Shall we aim? Aim, 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 aim. Missed. Luckily Shoot doesn't, and that's it. We have brought the game back under control. It's now 12 to 13. They just have the T25-2 and 2 artillery, and there's me on 28 health, and Shoot is on 508 health. So the cave trolls have survived. They've conquered. Not a massive game in terms of damage, but we had a real ding dong. Now we're going to come around and try and find it. Now the problem with the KV5 is the view range. T25-2 will see us way before we see him. Probably the Lefebvre will see us before we see him, because the Lefebvre has very good view range for artillery. Haven't seen much of the AMX. He hit Shoot one time, I think. So I'm just coming around here, just making sure that nothing's coming around the side. And there goes the 25-2. He just nipped through. Now the worrying thing about that is if he spotted Shoot, which he almost certainly did, is the artillery all going to be turning their guns towards him. I'm going to come wide just in case the 25-2 tries to come up from the north side of the hillside there, or the north side of the mine entrance, which is right in the middle of that hill. But he doesn't seem to be. He seems to be quite happy to try and confront Shoot, which isn't a good idea, because I think he's run out of premium now. He's only firing standard AP, and he's going to have a hell of a job pen and a KV5 with standard ammo, unless Shoot gives him the side, which actually he does just about now, and takes a 238 hit in return, which is frustrating. I'm pushing up the other way. Shoot's pushing forward. He's now got his armour towards the T25-2. There's no way that he can pen him without premium anyway. There he is. I've come around the other side, and it's how do you do it? He's gone. Now it's getting to cover, making sure I'm away from the artillery. We know the artillery was coming from the sort of B1, A1 area, so being here should mean I'm away from any kind of chance of him hitting me. So that's a bit of a breather. It's just me and Shoot against the 2 artillery. We've got the Lefebvre and we've got the AMX 13F3. 13F3 is well capable of one-shotting, well, both capable of killing me, and Shoot is now at a level where the AMX could well take him down with one shot. So it's not a great situation. Shoot's coming down. You know, we both made sure that 10 seconds has gone by and we're avoiding the chances of being spotted still. So he's pushing down there because he's got slightly more health than I do. He spots the Lefebvre sitting down there where we thought he was. Actually it's B2 rather than B1. But he's pulled right back, and I don't know that we're going to get a shot at him, unfortunately. Of course, it also means that Shoot's been spotted for the AMX as well, and sure enough, there he is. Shoot has a shot at him, doesn't manage to hit him, and return fire from the AMX just splashes Shoot, so that's good news. does track him in place, but he should be fine. He's safe from the Lefebvre, and the MX will take a while to reload. So Lefebvre's poked out. Shoot manages to take a big chunk of his health, which is nice. I dropped down to try and help him out, put a different angle on him. There he is there. Can we aim in? Aim. He fires his shot, misses completely. I miss my shot as well. There's the AMX, is popping back up again, trying to get involved in the battle. Can we get a shot on him? No. I block a shot from the Lefebvre. He was firing AP. He's probably run out of shells. Those things run out of shells very, very quickly. And I bet that's what it is. And he's got no chance of penning with AP. Not frontally anyway. There's the AMX. Oh, can we get this gun to fire just a little slither of his tank there? Beautiful. Beautiful. Very lucky shot, but we'll take it all day long. And that is it. Just the Lefebvre left. He's pretty much out of ammo, I'm pretty sure. In fact, he doesn't actually seem to react when I come down this way. Obviously, he's got no chance. He's got 4 hit points. You've got Shoot coming down low, got me coming down high. I've loaded an HE shell just to make doubly sure of it. And into the cap. He doesn't even try and turn around because he knows he's dead. And that's it. Game over. GG. Good fun. So you saw the resilience of the KV5. I was on 20 health or something from quite a long way into that game and managed to survive without losing any more health. And the combination of really good armour and a very big health pool means these things can take a right beating. So that was the second class. We got Hand of God, Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, Shellproof. We got the Pescucci's medal for killing all 3 artillery. That's right, 3 artillery. We got some Samaritan Spartans. We got Steel Ball and Top Gun out of that, which was rather nice. Look at all the block shots here. Finished up top of the team on 1953 damage, 6 kills, 1139 base XP. Shoot came in second, 2449 damage, 2 kills for 1015 base XP. I fired 27 shots, hit with 8 of them, penned with 8. Hit with 18 of them, penned with 8 for that 1900 damage. I took 20 hits in total, 7 of which penned, 13 bounced for 3000 block damage. That isn't anything special in a KV5. 3000 damage is fairly normal, has to be said. We also got some reset points, which I think must have been oh no, that's capture points. We didn't reset. Shoot reset. That 68,500 credits after costs, nearly 45,000 profit, which is rather good. 1700 XP times 2 and lots of bonuses gave us 3,760. We'll look at Shoot. He fired 19 shots, hit with 15 of them, penned with 9 for his 2,500. He took 26 hits, 8 of which penned, 18 of which didn't, for 2,810 bounce damage, so just 190 less than me. He also got 47 defense points for resetting the cap by hitting that chaffee. Finished up, as I say, with 1015 base XP, so good game from Shoot as well. So anyway, that shows the Cave Trolls platooning in action. So there you go, there's the Cave Troll, the KV5. A brute of a tank, but terrific fun to play with. I really enjoyed playing this, and I would thoroughly recommend, if you are into buying tanks, that you consider buying this one for your garage, because you won't regret it in my book, especially if you go out platooning with your mates in it. Great fun. Anyway, let me know what you think. Have you got it? Do you hate it? Do you take it out so easily? Some people lick their lips when they see these things. Personally, I think it's great fun. I love playing it, and I think the fun factor of it is, you know, at the end of the day, we play the game to have fun, and that makes a huge difference to me. When I look at tanks, and if they're fun to play, and I enjoy playing them, then I'm happy to buy them and play with them a lot. And I have played with this one quite a lot, over, I don't know, 200 and something games, and I would play more. Anyway, Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, consider giving it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Up over 400. Whey! Fantastic, amazing. Can't believe how many people are following the channel, so that's great. So thanks for everyone who has, and if you haven't already done so, why aren't you? What are you missing? Look what you're missing. Click on the subscribe button. It's free and you get to know when I post new videos. Anyway, thanks for watching. Enjoy your games. Have fun. Remember, it's just a game. And have fun. And I'll see you again soon. Gamer Dom out.